Today, I'm joined by Connie Fass from the Alberta Adventure Divers to discuss her pumpkin dive coming up this Saturday just outside Wainwright. So, to start, what exactly is the pumpkin dive?
Pumpkin dive is a scuba diving event where we take pumpkins, go underwater and carve them, and then we have official judges that judge who has the best pumpkins. We start with a mystery dive, which the purpose is so that new divers can see where they want to carve their pumpkin, but we always throw a little mystery game in it too.
How did this event originally start?
Actually, we looked this up. We started 27 years ago. We've been carving pumpkins. Some of the original people still come regularly to the event. It was started as a double dog dare, you bet you can't do this.
And how many participants are you expecting for this year's dive?
This year we already have about 30 participants. It's a bit weather dependent. We can add another 10 pretty quick or drop 10 if it turns out to be snowing that day. But because we're looking at beautiful weather coming up to it, I expect to see 30 to 50 people on the beach.
Carving pumpkins underwater doesn't seem like a regular activity, so how does it actually work with the carving?
So yes, our pumpkins have to take an unblemished, or our divers have to take an unblemished, unmarked pumpkin into the lake. The instructions are there to use their dive knives, not special pumpkin carving tools, but their dive knives. Take their pumpkin underwater. The pumpkins are very buoyant, so this gets to be the fun part. You will see pumpkins popping up above the surface quite regularly some days, but they take the pumpkin underwater, they take their dive knife, they carve, take off the top, remove the guts underwater. Guts are environmentally very friendly, and the fish life, it's very organic material that the fish and the creatures just eat them up. They love them. So we clean them out. Then they take their dive knife, they carve their face, their etching onto the pumpkin, and they bring it out. Again, they're judged on the cleanest inside. So some will try very hard to make the cleanest inside, the most, several different categories that they're judged on. Best overall, best fitting top. Sometimes if all you have time for is to get a top done, you work for the best fitting top.
How hard is it to actually carve the pumpkins underwater?
Oh, it's a challenge because you have to imagine you're in your thick wetsuit or your dry suit. You're wearing warm, thick gloves to keep you warm. You're using a dive knife, which is not really an elegant tool for carving. So there's a lot of challenges to it. But the biggest challenge is keeping that pumpkin underwater because it's so buoyant, it just wants to float. So in your buddy team, one's going to be holding it down while the other carves, and then you trade off positions. It's a challenge. I call it a challenge, and a fun challenge more than difficult.
What's the whole atmosphere like at an event like this?
We're outside. There's no the COVID. We can be on the beach socially distant. So it's something that everyone can do. Underwater, there's no COVID problems because you've all got your own source of breathing air. So it's purely a fun event. The divers go out and have fun, laugh about their adventures and misadventures. We have surface support. There's always 15 to 20 people on the shore that are helping put on gloves and stuff. And it's just a very social, fun event. And I think that's what's made it so popular that we've survived 27 years is we're all out there to have fun. Nice way to kind of bring the dive season to an end because by now it's starting to get colder and darker, and it's just a nice way to bring the dive season to a fun end.
And where does the event take place this year?
The pumpkin dive is at Clear Lake public beach near Wainwright, Alberta. Apparently there's about 3 Clear Lakes in Alberta, so we always direct people to the one near Wainwright. Our registration starts at 10 o'clock. We do our safety briefings and are telling them what the event goals are. And then they're in the water for the first dive by about 11:30 and second dive by about 1:32. And we're wrapped up and our judges are judging by about 3:30.